Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are. Hope you are well, and welcome to your match preview for Nottingham Forest versus Liverpool. We, of course, will be having the watch along tomorrow from 12 p.m. Remember, guys, it's an earlier kickoff because of TV rights. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how Forest can win this match. Is there a potential upset on? Can Forest defy the odds and turn this one around? We'll get into all of that, as well as looking at the predicted lineups for both teams and the matchups. So, guys, before we get into it, as always, please do hit that like button. Apologies for no video yesterday. I've been in bed with a bit of a viral infection and just about recovering from it now. Let's get into the match and let's get into the video, sorry. And let's start by talking about Forest's potential lineup. There's been a lot of talk this week about will Steve Cooper revert to a back 3/5 in the 3-5-2 traditional formation that we played with last season. This is really to hit home with the low block tactics, and it would be a back 5 rather than a back 3. I personally don't think, one, it's the right approach, and two, that he will do it. I feel that he's played this 4-3-3 for a fair few matches now, and I don't see the benefit of then reimposing the 3 at the back and then switching back to the 4 back if we're trying to bed in this formation. So for me, I think the right call would be to stick with the 4-3-3, and I've just got a feeling he's going to do that. We'll switch over and have a look at the team that I think he will go with. I think he's going to keep the back 4 the same as we saw against Brighton, with Aurier coming in at right back. Now, with the injury crisis we got on, and we'll talk about injuries in a little bit, I think Williams is going to play on the left-hand side. I don't mind this against Liverpool because, remember, he is an ex-Liverpool player. He will know the workings of Mo Salah in that position very well. And as the guys mentioned on the Forest Forum the other day, with Salah being left-footed on the right side, he will tend to cut in to go for that finesse shot. And that does suit Williams, who would be right-footed, who would be more balanced in terms of blocking that shot. So potentially that could work. We've seen it work in the past before when I think Ashley Young would play against Salah in that left back position with the right foot, and he would be able to block shots. So it's not a bad tactic if Cooper goes for it. I do worry about McKenna and Cook in the middle against the pace that Liverpool pose, especially as they will overload the wings with the likes of Robertson and Trent Alexander. Overlapping on those wings. It's going to be very, very tough. But the midfield, I think, stays the same because O'Brien apparently is still ill. I don't know what he's got. Maybe he's got what I've got, but he's been out for a while. I still feel he may show up on the bench or something. I don't know. It may just be a classic Cooper curveball on it. But I think the midfield 3 will stay the same. And you're going to find they'll play in a similar way to how we played against Brighton. So very deep, very low block, being compact in between the lines. And really, this is going to be a siege mentality to see if we can hit them on the counter-attack. I do feel we have better options to score on the counter. I know it sounds weird, but we have more chance of scoring in this match than maybe the Brighton match because of how adventurous Liverpool are with their centre-backs. They tend to play pretty much on the halfway line, with Virgil van Dijk sometimes wandering into the opponent's half. Same with Gomez, etc. And the fullbacks play as wingers. We need pace up front. I personally wouldn't go with Lingard, but I think Cooper will go with Lingard. Maybe he sees this as the breakthrough match for Lingard against Liverpool, him being a Manchester boy, hating Liverpool, that passion added to it, etc. So I think he'll drop MG Dub, bring Lingard in, and Awoni, being an ex-Liverpool player, may just be fired up for this one as well. So a lot of little subplots and sub-stories with this one. Although I felt Jono should have been rested against Brighton, I would have rested him against Brighton to bring him in for the Liverpool match because his pace is going to be crucial. Any balls over the top, he should have plenty of space to run into if we can get that transition in quickly. So I think Jono could really benefit in this game if there are any scraps for him to pick up from. But this is the team I think Cooper would go with. Look, for me, I wouldn't play Lingard. I'd play Dennis on the left for this one to add some pace because Trent's going to leave some massive gaping holes. And if Trent doesn't play and Milner plays, then Dennis can take him on for pace as well, because he's not getting any younger. Do you agree with this team? I mean, it's not the worst team. I'm still looking at that at Cook. Cook's the one that stands out to me. I'd probably bring Worrell in. I think based on what he did last season in the back four against Liverpool, he had a good game in that match. He was able to kind of control the situation, and we were very unlucky to lose that game 1-0. Maybe he does take Cook out because he's played a lot of games, and this is the third match in a week. Maybe he does change that for a Worrell, or maybe he does go to a back three, but I personally wouldn't recommend it. Let me know what your thoughts are on this team, and do you agree or disagree with it? So as we just mentioned, there is a bit of an injury crisis with Forest, especially in terms of left backs. Tuffalo's out injured. Obviously, Omar Richard's been out since we bought him, and Loddy apparently has a bruising on his ankle. That's why Williams has to come in at left back. The other injuries we've got, obviously, are O'Brien, Niakate's still out for a while, and it's just getting a little thin at the back, and hence why we did need the amount of players we did sign. So, that for me is justified just in this game alone with all those injuries coming in. Now, does this work for us if we're going to play Liverpool? My point here is we need to take a page out of, I hate to say it, Fulham's book and play the way they played against Liverpool on the opening day of the season. They pressed from the front. They pressed really hard, especially targeting the left and right backs, and really won the ball high up the pitch, which caused high turnovers, which created chances for them and goals as well. That approach caught Liverpool completely off guard. The teams that play low block against Liverpool do not surprise Liverpool by doing this. And I've mentioned this a couple of times this week. Liverpool, unlike the Man City, probably come up against low block probably 20 to 25 times a season. And it's no real mystery for them on it. And all they'll do is pound and pound and pound and put the pressure on the opposing team, and eventually it will crack. Now, every now and again, there'll be that little breakaway goal and it suddenly goes 1-0 to the opposition team. Hopefully that can be us on Saturday. But we really have to utilize pace in this team. And that's why I still would go with Dennis on the left to really add that pace. And then Iwoni up front, who isn't a back to goal kind of player. So balls over the top would probably suit him in space to run into as well. It's going to be an interesting match, but Liverpool do have their own injury problems as well, which may help Forest. So let's jump in and have a look at the Liverpool team. Okay, so looking at the Liverpool team that faced West Ham during midweek, this is how they lined up in a 4-4-2, which isn't usually their formation. Usually they're a 4-3-3 type of team. But with the injuries they've had to make a few changes. Obviously, they got problems up front with Jota out, with a couple of other strikers out as well. However, Nunes coming in is starting to hit some form, and he does worry me. You've got Salah, who played in the midfield, but technically was playing up front. Look, I think they revert back to their 4-3-3 against Forest, regardless of the fact that they haven't got the personnel based on injuries. I think we will see Gomez and Van Dijk as the middle two, and it's between Skimmikas and Robertson at left back. I think Skimmikas will probably start again because they still have Champions League football midweek. So I think Klopp will be looking to protect fitness and things like that for the Champions League match. I think we'll see probably Milner, if I had to guess, at right back, covering for Arnold, him being used in the Champions League match potentially. And then in midfield, it probably will be Henderson or even Oxlade-Chamberlain, it could be, and Thiago Silva. Look, where the weaknesses are for Liverpool, definitely the midfield. They're not as mobile as they once used to be. And I made a video of this over the summer. I felt that they needed to strengthen in the midfield because it's an aging midfield, it's a slow midfield, and it's still good. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong at all. But in terms of where they are now compared to where they were even last year is night and day. But they are returning to form. They beat Man City. They've just beaten West Ham. They're on a good streak. And they'll be coming to the City ground expecting nothing short of 3 points. And we're going to have to fight. This is going to have to be a West Ham style match for us, where the crowd are in the game, where the players are pumped up, where the players are going in for tackles and things like that. It's going to be passion is going to be the thing that really, really helps us this match. But this Liverpool team is pretty tasty on paper, guys, and for me, we've got our work cut out on this one. But I've just got a sneaky feeling. I don't know why. I'm probably going to regret saying that. I've just got a sneaky feeling. And the reason I have that sneaky feeling is because of how high up the pitch Liverpool play. Look, we're going to be backs against the wall. There's no two ways about it. It's going to be low block FC. But if we can just get that 1 or 2 breakaway chances with Johnson going in behind, Johnson's going to be huge on this match. If he can show us the form we know he has, we know what a good player he is. He can get in behind those Liverpool defenders. He'll destroy them for pace, and hopefully he can put away a chance or two for us. This whole match, though, rests solely for our sake on one player, and that's Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson is going to have another performance like he did against Brighton. Liverpool are going to get shots. They're going to create chances. If Henderson is up to it, if Henderson's on fire, it keeps us in the game. The whole thing we want here is to still be in the game with about 70 minutes gone. If we're 1 or 2-0 down at half time or 3 down at half time, it is game over. But if by somehow we can be up to like the 70th minute, 0-0, or even just 1-0 down, then we really do have a very outside chance of getting something out of the game. But it just depends on how we set up. Will it be low block football or will it be high pressing football? I fear it will be low block football, but I still think that could work. That really could work. Let me know what you guys think. Sorry the video isn't as in-depth as always, but I'm just so ill still and I'm doing what I can to recover. Look, tonight I'll be going on a Liverpool channel and we'll be discussing and bantering about Forest versus Liverpool. Remember, guys, for those of you who are old enough or older than me, Liverpool hated Forest. There was always a rivalry back in the day around the European Cups and everything like that. After all, we knocked them out, I think, in the first round. But maybe, just maybe, there's always an upset, isn't there? Can we be the team that provides that upset this time? We will find out. Don't forget, we'll have the watch along for you tomorrow from 12 o'clock in the afternoon, followed by the player ratings. And if I'm feeling a lot better, we'll get a fan forum in, of course, so that you guys can get your opinions over to me. Thank you guys for watching so much. If you'd be kind enough to give the video a quick like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and let me know down below if you've made it this far in the video. What are your score predictions for the big match tomorrow? Can't wait for it. I'll see you tonight on the Liverpool YouTube channel where we will be discussing all things about this match. I'll put on Twitter the link for you and in the description down below. We'll see you later. Come on, you Reds.